Okay, so to get into eCollege, what your students are going to have to do, I forwarded an email from Shelley, or actually from Beth Oswald, that what you're going to have to do is the students will enter their student ID as their login, and their password is going to be their full 8-digit birthday. So that's going to be their login and password to get into eCollege. Once they get into eCollege, if they have more than one eCollege class, or I think even if they don't, they'll have to actually go, like we do, to the academics, PSH, and they're going to have to find the course and select it and get in. They'll have a window that looks similar to this, except for all the things with asterisks that we see on our screen don't show up on theirs. So they'll have an option called More Practice, an option called Homework Due, Course Home, Videos, etc. for help, Tools for Success. They won't have any of these below it. They will have some access to these chapters. So first of all, you got students and they'll want to know probably how to get to the homework right away. Well, you can get to the homework by clicking on the Homework Due button. Homework Due button takes you to another page that says Do Homework Assigned by Your Instructor. You click that, and that goes into, you'll see the screens change. When the screens change, you're over at what's called Math Excel, and you've got this list of assignments. The default is to go to the homework assignments, but if you've got quizzes on there or online tests or something like that, you can go here. If you've got chapters, I'm not sure what the chapters button does yet, but this seems to go to the assignments. Oh, I see. The chapters button puts all assignments associated with a particular chapter. So you can set up that option and pick a chapter for it. I think that's what the chapters button does. Anyway, these assignments are down here, and you can see what would happen when a student clicks on them. When you go to this screen, is they'll have a series of questions. Okay? So let's say I'm going to go to question 1. So you have the student go to question 1. And I've allowed unlimited attempts on this. Okay? So what does the digit 5 mean in the following number? And so you select some options, and it's basically saying what digit it is. It's, let's say they guess that it's the hundreds digit. Oops, they're probably going to be wrong, I hope. Certainly. And so then they have the option to check their answer. Sorry, that's incorrect. And so they'll give them a little hint as to what's going on. They say, okay, how about selecting the thousands digit, which it is. Check answer. And they says they're fantastic and affirms them and all that other rot. Now you'll notice there's a button down here for similar exercise. And I can press the similar exercise button, and it will give me a similar exercise. But what I'm going to point out to you is they don't have to press that button. That's why I'm personally going with quizzes instead of assignments. But since assignments are assigned right now, I just want to show you what they can do. So the 6 represents, I'm going to answer it wrong, call it the hundreds. I'm going to say check answer. Sorry, that's incorrect, but I'm going to save it anyway. You will not receive any credit in the test, so you checked your answer. You want to go without checking your answer? I'm going to say no. I'm going to check answer. Done. Save. I think it's going to demand. Let's just see. I'm going to say no. I'm going to save anyway. Yes. Save the score. Yes. And so that was one option that they had. I'm wondering. Just looking, I'm experimenting with this too. So let's check answer. We have this. That's not correct answer. I'm going to save this. Oh, it doesn't like that. Similar exercise. Where does the 8 live? The 8 lives in the thousands digit, but I'm going to say it lives in the tens digit first. It's wrong. And now I'm going to try to save it. You will not receive any credit till you've checked this answer. Are you sure you want to continue without checking? Yes, I am. Okay, so now they've got it back to wrong. So if they go back and try to redo it, it's wrong. But the problem is you can't force them to do a similar exercise, and if you limit their attempts, it won't give them this show similar exercise option. So if I limit the attempts and say 8 here is in the thousands, and check answer, nice work, and then I save it, it's now checked off as correct. Okay, so it's kind of bouncing around a bit. So right now these problems are set to do them as often as you want, and that's fine. But that show a similar button that comes up sometimes at the bottom, let me see if we similar exercise, they don't have to press that. If they get this correct, they don't have to, eventually, after several attempts, they don't have to go to a similar exercise to get credit. Okay, that's kind of the point I was showing. So you can go through in each of these exercises, save it, and they can keep going through these exercises. If, I don't think you can get it by clicking on there, but some of the things that they have available to help on these problems, there's the Help Me Solve This button that you can continue, and it will give them some items. Sometimes it gives them a little multiple choice to do things out. And I'm going to say thousands, check answer, nice work. And then, so they go, you continue, and it describes things. It'll occasionally ask for input from them. The original number, what position does 8 have in its period? In the original number, what position does 8 have in its period? Wow, I'm not liking any of these answers. How about that? Oh, I think, it's period referring to just the first 3, so it's the ones digit in that little group. I see. Check answer, excellent. Oh, wow, I need to go back to pre-algebra, I guess. And then, so what does the 8 mean? It's the thousands digit. Okay. So that was one thing. Another thing is view an example. And you can continue, and it will just show you a worked example, not requiring any feedback. Another thing it has, you can go to the textbook, and I'm not sure if it shows you the textbook sample, or if it just goes to that section of the textbook. It goes to this section of the textbook. So that's kind of nice. And finally, there's some video, and that goes to a video specifically for this problem. I'm afraid my computer's not set up for QuickTime. These are varying quality videos. I think they're a little terse. But they're short, they're to the point, and it might be just enough to get your student over the hump. Ask My Instructor basically is just a device to send you an email. You may choose to hide that somewhere, but for right now I'm going to leave that open. And finally, they can print the problem and scribble on it if they want before they go into doing things here. So I'm going to save this problem and go back to the homework assignments. They can go through all these things until they're okay with that. And as they work through more of them, so when I go back, this will show up on the grade book as 14.3%. Because only one of the 7 problems was completed. As I keep going through, I can keep going back to it and bump up the score if I allow enough attempts per problem. Okay, so I can do this homework assignment in multiple sittings. I don't have to do it all in one. So that's how homework assignments look to the students when you're done. By the way, getting out of a particular screen is a matter of minimizing it or just Xing it out, and My Math Lab is still here. You'll then be able to see it in your grade book. You go to the MML Instructor Tools, look at your grade book, and it will show that Chase Tate has actually done a bit of this assignment. Okay, as Chase Tate here, barely visible here. So there's this review. It shows them that Chase Tate spent a minute doing this thing, got 1 out of 7 right, 14%. And so you can give some things, there's things you can do with that score if you want. That's what the grade book looks like to you, and it's available to you because it's not hidden from you. It's just hidden from them.